And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. I'm Jane Jansen with Peter Morrell and Dr. Wim Jansen. And we're so excited because Martie Whittekin, who is a board-certified clinical nutritionist and author of best-selling book Natural Alternative Nexium and Other Acid Blockers, is here.
That's right.
Her new book is entitled The Probiotic Cure. Martie is the host of long-running syndicated radio talk show and her website healthybynatureshow.com and free e-newsletter are great health resources. Martie joins us today to talk about internal and external factors affecting our immune system. Hey, welcome back, Martie.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be with you, Jane.
Thanks for the opportunity. This is like perfect timing because it's that time of year.
Up here in the Northeast, it's cold and flu season beginning, and we're all trying to get our immune system in shape for the season.
I was at a symposium this week, and I heard it described as the flu shot season.
And it's already begun.
Yeah.
So how
as though that's our deficiency. We're deficient in flu shots. That's why we have this problem.
So how do we protect ourselves and our families during fall and winter?
Well, there are a lot of factors. Some of them external, most of them internal, though, because these critters, the viruses and the bacteria, are not what causes disease. It's our failure to mount an appropriate response and get rid of them that causes the disease. And internal, those are the ones we have the most control over. We can't necessarily keep people away who are sick and so on, but we can make some strides at improving our immune system.
The immune system, I mean, we talk about the immune system, but it's not something that you can point to in a picture. And people, I think, really don't have a grasp of
what the immune system is.
Yeah, what the immune system is, how it actually works. So it's a kind of complicated mechanism, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you both make good points. You actually can point at it, but it's a lot of pointing because it's all over the place. It's our lymphatic system, which runs all over the body, carrying immune cells and carrying away junk. It's the entire intestinal tract, where 70 to 80% of our immune function is. It's on the skin. It's in the lungs, wherever good bacteria are. So it's a coordinated effort. It's as though we have our defenses are the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, the reserves. All of these things come into play depending on what we're faced with. And we've never been taught to take care of it. It's just not part of the dialogue that we hear in the news or even from our doctors, who also haven't been taught. They only teach them, for the most part, what to do about the symptoms of a disease, not how to keep the body so well you don't have one.
And one of the things we look at, and I'm sure you do as well, are probiotics, helping that gut bacteria to get in balance. And a lot of people are running around out, hearing everywhere, this probiotic, that probiotic, eat yogurt, do this. And they're all getting very confused about what should they be doing as far as a probiotic. Can you explain, one, what a probiotic is, and two, what are we looking for as far as the quality of taking a probiotic to get the best out of it?
Oh, I'm really glad you asked that question, because when I wrote The Probiotic Cure, I looked at something like 1,000 abstracts of studies and read many of the studies to figure out what is the state of the science, what do we know about it. Probiotic, as a general term, means pro-life, just like antibiotic means against life, which ought to give us a clue if you think about that. But probiotics are organisms that are on our side, or at least at the moment are on our side. We can upset the balance and change an ally into an enemy, but for the most part, it's just good bacteria. And now it's such a buzzword. It used to be people had no idea what it was, but thanks probably mostly to the advertising, for yogurt on TV, they got the idea, oh yeah, they're good critters. Well, when I said that 70 to 80% of our immune function is in the gut, that's what I'm talking about, is our collection of hopefully thousands of different kinds of bacteria that are prepared to help run off anything that is not good for us and keep all of our other systems that help keep those running too, because these probiotics also, and these are topics for another show another time, but they help run the brain and our appetite and are important for the health of every other organ and system in the body.
The probiotics have become so popular, and even people who aren't necessarily into natural health now kind of are starting to look at probiotics because they hear the word all the time. And now we have, probably hundreds of probiotic products on the market, some good, some not good. But we've fallen into this system where it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, it's just how many cultures are in the pill. If I got 20 gazillion and you got 10 gazillion, mine's obviously better. Can you straighten people out on the numbers game?
Boy. Yeah, that's a biggie. And you're right. There are not only hundreds of probiotic products, there are now probably hundreds of products to which they have sprinkled some probiotics on it. And I said when the book came out, just watch. One of these days, Doritos will have probiotics on it. That doesn't mean they do a darn thing, but it's a marketing buzzword. And the American way is kind of, well, if a little is good, more is better. So that's where this whole conversation comes from about I have 10 billion. It sounds like a poker game. Well, I'll see your 10 billion and raise you 5 billion. Well, nobody is stopping to ask, well, what happens when billions, 100 billion of one organism hit the digestive tract? Doesn't our immune system say, hey, wait a minute, that shouldn't be here, and maybe mount an attack? It's really important to also think about this. A bacterial strain, if it's in a good environment, if you give 100 of them what they need to eat in a good place, they double every 30 minutes. So I did a spreadsheet to show that if you double 100, just 100 organisms every half hour, overnight, you're into quadrillions. So the numbers are kind of meaningless. What's really important is, A, do you have the bacteria that the body really needs? Is it well-researched? Do we know it's good? And what is it going to eat? What is the environment that it's going into?
Martie, we're going to take a little bit break, and I want to get back to the uniqueness of Dr. Ohhira's probiotic. What makes it so special? People ask us all the time, which do we think is the best probiotic out there? And we usually don't go with the best of anything, saying this is absolutely the best, but we can say that the Dr. Ohhira's probiotic is the best one we've seen so far on the market. I want to discuss a little bit about why that is so. So we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health, and our fantastic guest. She's just a wealth of information. Martie Whittekin will be back in a moment. And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. And our fantastic guest, and she's an awesome lady, Martie Whittekin, again, is a board-certified clinical nutritionist. And her new book, The Probiotic Cure. So she is the woman we absolutely need to be talking about this subject to. Martie, again, Dr. Ohhira's probiotic is so different from all the other probiotics that are out there. And, again, everybody's jamming as much as they possibly can into these supplements. Dr. Ohhira's doesn't do that. Why?
Well, I wish there was a different category we could put it in, because there isn't anything else like it, and it's easy to say, well, if it's all about numbers, then you have to go with these white powder freeze-dried types of bacteria that What happened, and this is not what Dr. Ohhira's is, but I want to just give context that virtually all of the other probiotics that are on the market are, unless they're like something in kefir or yogurt, they are freeze-dried white powders, and they break up the colonies, they remove the food supply, they've cultured them like overnight or something, and then they mix together, after they're dried in a capsule, a variety of species, or maybe 10, maybe 20, doesn't matter. When they hit the intestinal tract, assuming that they have lived through the freeze-dried process and the shipping and all that, and they make it past the stomach, they get into the gut, they wake up. If they wake up, they look over and they've got all these competitors they've never seen before, so they've got to duke it out with them for territory, find something to eat, hope that you ate what they like, which is fiber and vegetables, and then they can start reproducing and making postbiotics, which is what we want. The reason we even take probiotics is for what they make. They're little factories that make substances that help run the body. Well, Dr. Ohhira's, in contrast, it is a fermented food product. For 3 years, they take these 12 very well-researched strains and feed them the kinds of foods we should be eating, the natural vegetables and organic fruits and wild-crafted herbs and seaweeds and medicinal mushrooms and so on. They give them to these bacteria, and they take 3 years to do it, not overnight, 3 years, so that they can take those foods, break them down, and make the substances that help our health. Their enzymes, their even vitamins like vitamin K, and a variety of hundreds, really, of these post-biotics, which is just the name for what they've made. Dr. Ohhira's capsules have the foods, the bacteria, and all these things they've made. So all you have to do is just cut open a capsule and compare or pull apart a white powder capsule and look at the two, and you could say, well, the difference is obvious.
I also have found that the explanation of the fingerprint of that we all have fingerprints that are very unique to us. That's what identifies us. Well, that also happens in our digestive tract with our own good bacteria. They're unique to us. Dr. Ohhira's helps to promote that, doesn't it?
Oh, excellent point. Yes, I said we have thousands of kinds of families of bacteria, but yours are different than mine. And in order to maintain what is uniquely ours, one of the important things to do is, like I said about the doubling, these bacteria have to be in an environment that's supportive. And that's one of the things that Dr. Ohhira's does. It helps maintain the right pH. It helps provide food for the bacteria. It provides these substances that normalize the gut lining, short-chain fatty acids, all of these things. So it's unique in that aspect as well.
And as we started the conversation, they also help get our immune system in balance.
The bacteria send lots of signals, and they do that through making something that goes to some other part of the body and delivers a message. And a lot of these messages are, let's balance the immune system. Don't just rev it up and cause an autoimmune problem, which is something that I worry about if you take just great wads of 1 or 2 or 10 strains of some freeze-dried bacteria, is that the immune system sometimes gets a little overexcited. Well, we don't want that either. We want a balance.
I was reading an article the other day that a 2018 study published in the European Journal of Public Health recently found that those who consume probiotics on a regular basis reduced their needs for antibiotics because of strengthening and improving the immune function. In fact, the scientists found that infants and children who took a daily probiotic supplement were 29% less likely to be prescribed an antibiotic. And when they repeated looking at the information, they found that it could actually go as high as 59%. That is huge.
Oh, that's just groundbreaking. It should be on the front page of the newspaper, and of course it isn't. That's why we need people like you to help spread the word. And just imagine if we also made sure that those folks had adequate vitamin D, adequate zinc, and protected them from these chemicals that are in our environment that attack every cell in the body. Antibiotics we should save for emergencies, but we could really prevent a lot of the emergencies.
Who should be taking Dr. Ohhira's probiotic, Martie? I mean, we just mentioned children. I mean, is there particular people who should be taking it and others who really don't need it?
I haven't run into anybody that doesn't need it, just because if we live and breathe on this planet, we need all the help that we can get. Somebody, theoretically, who lives on a pristine mountaintop, although the toxins are up there now, and no stress, eats only organic food, spends all day meditating, maybe they're fine. They eat fermented foods. They might need it, but there's no age limit. I know moms who take the paste out of the capsule and put it on the nipple of the bottle or their own for nursing infants, and elderly, they need it even more. And it doesn't interfere with the medications because this is what's supposed to be in the gut. So, you can't be too young or too old, too sick. Probably one exception is if you just had an organ transplant and they're trying to kill off your immune system, maybe that, those people might stay away.
And we talked about, this time of year, everybody's getting the flu shot. Well, everybody also starts taking antibiotics. And, again, the need for, having good bacteria in the digestive tract, particularly to help prevent, fungal infections and things like that. But they've also found, again, recent studies have also found that it also helps in the prevention of the supergerms. Defending against the supergerms, like the Staphylococcus aureus is one of them that is, dangerous. And we're seeing the increase of antibiotics not working for people. And so the stronger we can keep our immune system, they even found that it helps to prevent C. diff infections. So taking a probiotic, I used to think was something that, you took every now and then when you needed it, but really is becoming more a daily necessity. Well,
indeed. And the problem with the antibiotics is they kill everything off, and the stronger antibiotics, they disrupt the gut for a year. So anything you can do to maintain your immune system so that you don't need an antibiotic, that's better. And if I could just put in a plug for people who are afraid to take probiotics while they're on an antibiotic because it might interfere with the antibiotic, it doesn't work that way. The probiotics actually make the antibiotic work better. However, you don't want to kill off your good guys, so you allow a couple of hours after you take an antibiotic before you take a probiotic, or you take the probiotic a couple hours before. But you don't wait until you're finished with the antibiotic course and then try and play catch-up. Whatever you can do with Dr. Ohhira's, maybe add some friendly yeast, S. boulardii, anything to kind of help calm the troops down there while the antibiotic's trying to kill off the bad guys is a good thing. Don't wait. Double up.
Also, we talk about antibiotics causing, disruption in the microbiome, but there are other medications that, situations that can cause that depletion of good bacteria.
Virtually all of them. The pharmacist Susie Cohen says that virtually all of the drugs do, but so do food additives, emulsifiers, artificial colors, and those have heavy metals in them. Corn syrup has mercury in it. That hurts them. That's why I think everybody needs to be working all the time at building up their gut, because the food science is working at tearing it down.
And we want to thank you so much for joining us. And we know you have to rush off to do your own radio show. So we appreciate you taking the time out to come on ours. And we hope to be talking to you again, Martie. Is there a way that people can contact you or look up information? HBNshow.com, or you can spell it out, healthybynatureshow.com. And that's where you get the newsletter, archives of years worth of radio shows, and it's always a pleasure to be with you. I really appreciate the invitation. Thanks, Martie. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.